Have you ever felt like everything was set up perfectly for you to go to sleep? You were tired, your sleep drive was built up, everything was just perfect. And then you went to bed, and then the silence of the night is what woke you up again because it feels uncomfortable to be laying there in the silence without sleeping. You're not alone. My name is Carol Richard from Tapping Into Sleep, and today I wanted to do some tapping to help you release some of that uncomfortable feeling that you might feel about the silence of the night. This actually happened to a client of mine recently. We had to do some tapping because she felt very uncomfortable with the silence. And what happened for her is everything was set up. She was feeling sleepy. She was really feeling encouraged. This was going to be a good night. She was going to get some sleep. And then when she got to bed, she didn't fall asleep right away because it can take up to 10 to 15 minutes to fall asleep. And the longer she laid there, the more uncomfortable she became with the silence. So we did some tapping on that and everything else that showed up for her. And that's what I wanted to do today, to guide you through a tapping sequence to see what shows up for you when the night is quiet. So before we do any tapping, why don't you head over to my website, tappingintosleep.com, and read my disclaimer. I'll also put the link in the description below. And while you're there, grab a copy of your free guide, 5 Action Steps to Better Sleep. And I hope that will give you a beginning to help you figure out what you need to do to get your sleep back on track. So just going to start tapping on the side of the hand, taking a breath. While we think about this, I want you to actually picture yourself, laying in your bed when it's silent and quiet. And as you have this mental picture in your head, what is happening within your system? What is happening for you? So in this video, I will measure and test the feeling of being uncomfortable. Right? How uncomfortable do you feel when it's quiet at night? So rate that from a 0 to a 10. And if comfortable is not your emotion, maybe you feel anxious, or maybe you feel nervous, or fearful is one that just popped into my mind. Fearful of the silence that shows up at night. Write that emotion down. You can still use my words to borrow benefits, but you will get some benefit on your actual emotion that you wrote down. So once you have that written down from 0 to a 10, tune in with your body. So a lot of times the emotions will show up somewheres in our body. We never know where, so just tune into it. And lately, when I've been tapping, all these emotions, they show up in the back of my neck and top of my shoulders. So that's what I'm going to use today, but you put the words in of where you feel it in your body. So let's do a few rounds and see what comes up. All right, so even though when I think of laying in my bed and it's so quiet, all I can hear is the silence. That feels so uncomfortable in my body. And I feel it in the back of my neck and on my shoulders. Right here, right now, I'm okay. And even though I'm just laying there in my bed, unable to fall asleep, and all I can hear is the silence. Feels really uncomfortable in my body. I don't like the silence. Right here, right now, I am safe. And even though my body feels uncomfortable with the silence, or maybe my mind feels uncomfortable with the silence, I can feel that in my neck and shoulders. I deeply and completely accept who I am. Right, top of the head. The silence feels uncomfortable. I feel this uncomfortable feeling in my body because I don't like the silence. Because it's during the silence that my thoughts take over. It feels like I have no control. of my thoughts during this silence. All this pressure and expectation that happens at bedtime. All this pressure to fall asleep quickly. As I lay there in silence, I can feel that pressure. And the more pressure I feel, the harder it is to get to sleep. I can hear my mind saying right now, it's bedtime, you should be sleeping. But I feel so uncomfortable in this silence. I'm starting to feel nervous. That sleep won't come again. I'm nervous that the silence will win. I don't like this silence. Because that's when my thoughts all come in. I wonder if it's possible to change my mindset around the silence. So I want you to sit with it right now. Let's just take a break. Keep tapping on your collarbone. I want you to tune into your body. So thinking, you're laying in bed, it's silent. So right now what's happening with me, it's kind of like right through like my chest area, there's this kind of feeling of like, here we go again. I don't know how else to explain that than like that's the feeling it is. It's like, oh no, here we go again. So let's do a round of tapping on that, but you tune into your body and what is it telling you right now about the silence? Right? What is it telling you about the silence right now? You make a few notes here, you jot that down. All right, so even though I still don't like the idea of that silence at night, I deeply and completely love and accept who I am. And even though I still don't like the idea of that silence at night, really makes me uncomfortable. And I feel that through my chest. I deeply and completely love and accept who I am. And even though I really don't like the sound of that silence, in this moment, I'm okay. I really don't like the sound of that silence. Makes me nervous that I won't sleep again. I just had a thought pop into my mind. And this is what I love about tapping. Start paying attention to those thoughts that pop in. I had like, how can I befriend the silence? That was the question that came. How can I make the silence my friend? Because obviously in this moment, I'm seeing the silence as my enemy. And then I had another thought that says, but then I complain I can't sleep when there's too much noise. So there's a part of me that doesn't like the silence. And then there's another part of me that doesn't like any noise when I'm trying to sleep. Yeah. So the silence could be my friend. There's a possibility that the silence could be my friend. All right, so let's do another check-in. Check in with yourself. That actually was kind of funny to me. So I'm feeling like, and these are the moments to really tune into, because the silence does feel uncomfortable because it's like my brain can pop in and can start giving me all these thoughts and ideas and beliefs from the past, from the conversation I had 20 years ago, from, get the point. But what if I had a new thought, a new belief right now that the silence is my friend? I'm going to use the silence right now to help me sleep, because when there's noise, I can't sleep. So I'm interested to find out if you had a cognitive shift, that's what they call them, if you had a change in mindset right there, and let me know what happened for you. All right, let's just do a few more rounds. I'm open to the possibility that the silence could be my friend. Because when it is silent, I can sleep better. Because when there is noise, it gives opportunities for my brain to wake up. Therefore, silence is better for sleep. I'm okay with the silence. I don't have to fill the silence. I can let the silence be what it is. And as I fall asleep in my silent, quiet room, I embrace this silence because I know that I'm going to sleep good. All right, put your hands on your heart. So being afraid or being fearful or anxious of the silence, something that you can tap through so that you can actually enjoy the silence and befriend the silence. Because when we sleep, the quieter it is, the less opportunity we have for waking up, because our brain never actually sleeps, right? When we're sleeping, we're still in an active state. And if you look at a young mother who can sleep through car door banging, husband coming to bed and everything, but the second her child makes a noise, she's like, boop, because her brain is always listening to everything. It's just that there are different things that will wake us up and others not. It just reminded me of recently my son had surgery and we were in a hotel room, and he barely whispered my name, and I jumped out of bed and he was like, how did you do that? Like, what was that? You were sound asleep. But that's what our mind does behind the scenes when we're sleeping. It is still listening to everything that's around. And I was listening for if he needed me through the night, and automatically I woke up. So the silence is good for sleep, and we shouldn't fear it. We should make it our friend. So I hope this tapping was really good for you today. Don't hesitate to reach out. Go to my website. Make sure you get a copy of my free guide, Journey to Better Sleep. And if I can help you in any other way to empower you to get your sleep back under control, just reach out, because you know what? Well, like when we sleep, life is just beautiful. And that's my mission in life, is to help as many people as I can find ways to reclaim their sleep. That's it for now. See you in the next video.